so much for Yashmani to start.
Yeah,
How
of
is it?
course. Thanks, Matilde. Buenos días. Buenos días. Bienvenidos a este espacio. Ha sido un placer estar con las comunidades en Bilbao y aprender de tanta gente y conocer gente que me ha cambiado el mundo, en realidad. Mi nombre es Yasmani Arboleda. My name is Yasmani Arboleda. I started in Spanish. It's my first language. And it's a privilege to be here with you today. One of the things that I keep thinking about as I've been experiencing the last few days is how we've all been walking towards each other and towards this grass and towards this tree, right? From the very beginning. And so as I welcome you into this space, I want to invite you to feel the ground. It's a little bit wet, right? The texture of each one of these pieces of grass, wherever you might be, where is the light coming from? I want to welcome you into a breath. So if we could take a really, really deep breath together and release. Ram Dass used to say that we are all just walking each other home. And before the person who's going to be here leading you in meditation arrives, I just want to tell you a little bit about this art piece, this work. I had the privilege of coming to Bilbao in 2019, in the fall of 2019, after I came here for the first time in 2004 to study architecture, as I was doing a master's degree in architecture in Barcelona. And I went all over Spain learning about architecture, learning about design. This is one of the most incredible places where this is prized. And when I think about Bilbao, to me, it's one of the most successful public spaces in the world because art and architecture and nature are all interwoven. They kind of play with each other, the scale of things. And so as you walk through the city, pay attention to the color, the shape, the history of these buildings and of these parks. It's very rich. My beginning with the Hospital for the Soul is really in 2019. Susana, actually, I met her one morning in the Museo de Bellas Artes, the Museum of Art here. It's actually a part of this park. And we were about 20 people, 20 to 25 people who gathered in a circle to do constellation therapy. For those of you who might not know constellation therapy, people get into a circle and name questions, and the people who are in the room stand up and work with each other to find answers and explore possibilities. One thing that I love that I've learned through constellation therapy is that oftentimes when we're asking questions and we don't find the answer, we're often looking inside of a circle or within a space that is limited. And so often our capacity to open up the question to find the answers is critical. So when I think about that movement, I love that the shape of this structure is really opening up to this park and to this tree. I call this tree tree number 5 because there's a carving of the number 5 on the bark. If you have a chance to go and touch it after the meditation, I welcome you to it. But a nurse named Anne, who is from Elorio, said that she believed that what we need now more than ever is a hospital for the soul, a place where the rain could wash away the blood of all of the trauma and the violence that has happened in this place. When I think about my art practice, it is an invitation to look at our history of trauma and violence and all of the things that have happened, not just here in Bilbao, but in our communities all over the world. In America, there's a history of racial violence. In Colombia, where my family's from, when we were dealing with the drug wars and the violence in Medellin, all of these things, I look at my own history of my own family and I think, gosh, if we could actually sit together and name these things and give shape to the fear and to the things that we don't often talk about collectively, things would change. And so when Anne said that, I was like, oh, what is a hospital for the soul? How do we engage in this kind of healing? And what came to me was a sequence of rooms that I began drawing in which our encounters with nature transform us. And so at first I was like, what if I begin making rooms for the heart of our senses? And the first room was the room for the heart of the nose. And so I was like, what if there is a eucalyptus tree in the middle? And when you walk into the space, the scent, the way the room smells, completely disarms you and changes you. And what if people who come to this tree and to this room are given seeds so that they can walk away and plant their own eucalyptus in their home so that they could have that same smell when they're going to work in the morning, right? In my work, I'm often invited into community, and I often ask the question, who are we here, and how do we make ourselves manifest? How do we express ourselves and our beauty and our joys? And what impossible things can we do together that we cannot do alone? I think that is a kind of practice, an invitation to engage in our transformation individually and collectively. And I think for us to be able to build a healthy future, it must happen, right? We must engage with our interdependence. We are on one earth, right? When we touch this grass, there's one place that belongs to us and we belong to it. And how do we engage with that truth and recognize that in our daily lives? Another one of my favorite rooms was a room for where it's only open when it's raining, because it often rains in Bilbao. And I thought, what if that room is only open when it's raining, and when it rains, there is a string quartet that plays so that we can see the rain as music. And it changes our expectation of what it feels like when the water's coming down from the sky. Eventually, I had the opportunity to bring into the project an all-female architecture team called Pese Studio that's based here in Bilbao. And we began an exploration of, gosh, how do we actually manifest this idea, and where could it exist? I spent a week last December of 2021, in Bilbao, walking from the mountains to the ocean to the river, interviewing trees, getting to know their leaves and their texture and their bark and their shade and their light. And I eventually got to this tree. It's this magnolia. This magnolia was actually brought from the southern United States in the early 1900s. There's 8 magnolia trees in this park, and just really understanding the history of places and how things grow. I will tell you that originally I wanted to have a local tree, something that grows here naturally, that is not imported or exported from anywhere else, because I think it's important to honor that. And eventually what I realized was that, just like me, I was born in the United States to parents who had crossed the border illegally to make a better life for themselves. I grew up in Medellin. I went to school in Washington, D.C., and I'm now residing in New York City. It's the truth of many of us, right? Like, we are transplanted, we are moving about. How do we actually name that and allow that to be a part of where we are and how we're moving forward? And so, through a process of showing up on Zoom with the carpenters and the engineers and the architects, week by week by week, it was originally supposed to be an enclosed room in which you would go through a passage and you would all the doors would be low, so about this high, so you were made to bow down. And the idea was that we could bow down to the things we have yet to experience, the things we don't know. How do you bow down to that which is coming towards you, but you're not aware of it? I think the opportunity to engage with that kind of honoring of, like, I have no idea, but I want to know. I am curious. I think that's really valuable. And so how do we create spaces and invitations and gestures that invite us into that kind of thinking of being in relationship to that which makes us uncomfortable, that which moves us in ways that we don't really fully understand? I think that's really important. And so eventually we understood that actually enclosing the tree wasn't the right answer, because we wanted everyone to be able to have access. And this temple to a tree, this hospital for the soul, became a corner, the first corner of a hospital, of a sequence of spaces that have yet to come. So as you meditate this morning and engage with this space and with this tree and with the sky, I invite you to imagine all the rooms that are not here yet, that we need to build for each other, so that we can fully engage with our history, the history of ourselves as humans, but really build an earth that is taking care of all living creatures. I'm so grateful for this morning and for this week and for the opportunity to meet each of you. It's been so beautiful. I mean, it's been miraculous, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm sorry for being a little late. I just was noticed that I'm not Sarah King. I'm Caroline Schmee. I'm yoga instructor, and I'm going to guide for you our beautiful morning meditation, right? I work since many, many years with the yoga of the mind, which is where I feel most comfortable at. And specifically, it's called Nidra Yoga, those who might know about it. So I guide Nidra Yogas, which technically is in Shavasana, it's lying down, which we can't do now. But we will do it anyway, just sitting in Padmasana, in lotus pose, like where you are now. Are you comfortable? Are you warm? Not humid, very important. Yes? As comfortable as you can. And meditation is not sitting stiff all the time, yeah? If your body tells you to rearrange in the middle of the meditation, just do it. Yeah, it's not like a statue. You can move and rearrange. It's natural. Yeah, it's deep listening because we're shutting down and we're calming all our turbulences, as Patanjali says, of our minds. Yeah, it's a technique to help us calm down the activity of our mind. As we learned yesterday, mind is what the brain does. And all sorts of things does the brain, is the mind. So, welcome everyone again, and let's enjoy. And we will start, as usual, with an agreement. Each one of us, of you, will agree to take this next half an hour for myself. I will take this half an hour for myself. I will not do anything, just follow my guidance. Nothing else. Are you okay with it? You world change makers? It is hard. It is new for many, but this is what we will do. You won't do anything. Just follow my guidance. Don't anticipate, don't label, don't judge, don't think, don't interpret. Don't put effort in remembering this technique. Nothing. Understood? Luis, you're an old yogi, so understood. Great. First agreement. Can you hear me well? Okay, second is we will close our eyes and remain with the closed eyes this half an hour. And breathing in and out through the nose always. Yoga is all through the nose, in and out. Just naturally, just let loose your breathing pattern. Yes, hello, bird. Breathing in and out through the nose. Just let it naturally flow as it comes. Feel your tummy going up and down. It's like a swing, and my consciousness starts swinging with this smooth movement of my tummy. Enjoy. We are in a safe place, beautiful park with other meditators, surrounded by nature, birds, water, trees, humidity, smells. Let me be here in this beautiful spot of our planet now. And all my defense mechanisms, I just let them down, fall to the earth, plop, to release, to relax, becomes an attitude. Yes, an attitude. Release. Relax with every exhalation more and more. Now let's focus on the nostrils, the air, how it comes in and how it comes out. Its humidity, temperature, speed. And observe now your pattern of breathing. Count in how many times you breathe in and in how many you breathe out. Just observe. Continue with the attitude of releasing and relaxing. And I will let fall everything to the floor. I'm starting by my name. Let it fall. Plop. My identity. Let fall. My gender. My belongings. My family. My friends. My memories. My plans. Everything I let fall on the floor. My tastes, my character, my personality, the color of my hair, skin, eyes. Just let fall everything. Plop. Breathe in. Yes, and breathe out. Now try to breathe in one time, counting 1. And breathe out in 2 or more. Yes, slowly take your breathing pattern to that rhythm. Breathing in one, breathing out in 1, 2, release, relax. If there is any thought that's crossing my mind, just I capture it, I freeze it, and I walk around it. Just do it to see it from all perspective. And then I let it go again and continue breathing in and out. Releasing. I take my attention to my feet, wherever they are, crossed or on the floor. If I feel any little muscle tension in my feet, I release it. It's an attitude. Release your feet. I bring my attention to the knees and release my knees. Bring the attention to my legs. Just let go and release the legs. I breathe in and out. Bring my attention to my torso. I release all muscles of my torso. My right shoulder, just let fall. My right arm, my hand. It's heavy. It's natural weight. Breathe in and out. My left shoulder, relax. Left arm and hand, relax. I breathe in and out. I go to my throat and relax all the muscles inside of my throat. My jaw. I relax my jaw starting from the ears. Just let your jaw fall. My tongue, relax. My lips, relax. My cheeks, relax. My nose, relax. My eyes, my forehead, my skull. All my face melts like chocolate down. I breathe in. I breathe out. And in this state of relaxation, I stay. Any thought that crosses my mind, I just let it pass away. I bring back my attention to my nostrils and enjoy feeling the air going in and out. I swing with this movement. I'll go now to a deeper state of relaxation. I will go now to a deeper state of relaxation. And slowly, I'm bringing back my consciousness to this body. I start listening to the surrounding sounds without judgment, without labels. Just listen. Now I listen to the sounds that are further away. And now I listen to the sounds closer to me. And now I listen to all the sounds around me. attention to my toes, and I move my toes. I move my toes. I move the fingers of my hand. And I'm coming back, so I stretch, I stretch, I stretch, I stretch, I stretch, I stretch. Whatever my body tells me to do, I stretch, I come back. And I make heat with the palms of my hand. Heat, heat, heat. Bring my hands to my eyes. My cheek. My throat. And my heart. We chant Shanti 3 times. We breathe in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. You enjoyed? We're all tired. It's our last day. So just recharging batteries with this. Anyone wants to share something? Relaxation, right? No speaking, no thinking. So, thank you.